Zelda Wii U and Majora's Mask 3D. These two games in particular is just getting everyone in a gaming feeding frenzy, and I don't blame them. But what about what's going on behind closed doors? What is Nintendo trying to accomplish for the future of the Zelda series? Well, we will find out in this week of Zelda News. Link, why you know let me crush Termina. Alright, before I go on with this video, I just love how the moon looks in this game. Complete destruction in 3D. Alright, so before I go off, let's talk about Majora's Mask. On January 14th, a Nintendo Direct was showcased featuring the game. In all honesty, we pretty much got all the information most people were expecting. Some boss fights are revised, new animations have been implemented, and there is fishing in this game. Nice. Also, there are some tidbits I'm wondering whether or not will be implemented in this game. For example, in the original Majora's Mask, a couple of things were cut out, such as this cutscene when Link learns the spin attack from the Great Fairy, or bringing back this green polka-dotted barrel thing. But there is one piece of information that a lot of people have overlooked. For example, take a look at this interview with Eiji Aonuma taken in the June of 2013. Majora's Mask is a very special game. It's the real hardcore who like that one. If we were to make a remake of that one, then we wouldn't want to let them down. We'd have to put our heart and soul into it. So you say you've heard rumors, but I have to say it would be quite a commitment to do that. Now, what does this have to do with anything? Well, let's take the time frame into consideration. This interview was taken in anticipation for the game Link Between Worlds, which was released back in the November of 2013. Cross-reference that information to what we know now about Majora's Mask 3D, and we get to some very interesting conclusions. Development for Majora's Mask 3D has begun since the 3D Ocarina of Time release, so that puts this game in roughly 3 years of development. Reasons for this is because the original Majora's Mask was made in a year, and Eiji Aonuma wanted to make Majora's Mask 3D into the game he originally wanted to make, with little to no time constraints, which does explain some of the newer features added to this particular version. So in other words, Majora's Mask 3D was being developed right after Ocarina of Time 3D, which places it towards a late 2011 or early 2012 starting point of development. Now, does this sound familiar? Link Between Worlds began development at roughly the same time, which does make this little cameo of Majora's Mask and Ravio's shop make more sense. And this is where this gets really interesting. You could say that both Aonuma and Miyamoto wanted to alter the traditional conventions of what makes a Zelda game in 2011. The game Link Between Worlds may very well be a catalyst to this end, but that's not all. Miyamoto and Aonuma may very well be pulling a slick move here. In order to ensure the prestige and continuing innovation, the Zelda series may be reorganized into a much more immersive and non-linear type of game for an honorable and regarded franchise. And wow, I can't believe I just made a Star Wars reference in a Zelda related video. But what I meant by that statement is that the Zelda series is indeed being reshaped. For example, in this interview with Shigeru Miyamoto, he has stated that he felt that there was a lot of players who finished Majora's Mask without noticing all the hidden events scattered around the overworld. To compensate for this, he wants to revise the notebook and to make it more accessible and handy in-game. But this brings to mind another concept. Eiji Aonuma has said that he likes to implement gaming mechanics and interchange them from multiple games he is developing. For example, he has developed Wind Waker HD and Link Between Worlds alongside Zelda Wii U, which in turn has influenced the game to a degree. Considering that Majora's Mask 3D has been in development since at least 2012, we can assume that Aonuma wants to take elements from this game as well and incorporate them in Zelda Wii U, which does explain why Aonuma and Miyamoto wants Zelda Wii U's overworld to feel more alive rather than empty. The best way I could describe this is talking about Hyrule Field in Twilight Princess. It's a giant overworld to be sure, but for the most part the land appears to be rather empty. In the case of the land of Termina, however, the lands are compact and brimming with side stories dealing with other characters. Speaking about Zelda Wii U's overworld, Miyamoto has said that when playing the game, players often forget about overarching objectives, meaning that you could do 50 things along the way of just accomplishing one goal. Needless to say, I am flipping pumped for this game, and boy am I hungry. But that's not all, folks. A lot of fans are pointing out similarities between Zelda Wii U's overworld to the map of the very first Zelda game, which I can definitely see some similarities between the bodies of water and the eastern coast, but we'll have to see in how it really plays out. When talking about Zelda Wii U's overworld, Shigeru Miyamoto had this to say: "I can't talk much about it, but one of the things we're working on right now is that that as you play, the world will change and be affected by what you choose to do. Now, this is interesting. What does he mean by the world will change? Well, if Zelda Wii U is taking any pages from Majora's Mask, then the best way I could describe this is through the Andrew and Cafe quest. In this particular side quest, if you do some things differently in the beginning portions of this quest, then the ending can be drastically different. Also, this is probably my favorite side quest in the entire Legend of Zelda series. Perhaps we can see more side quests like this one in Zelda Wii U. Anyways, moving on to the actual Zelda Wii U map, I do want to point some things out. If you look closely at the map icons where Link is nearby, you can see what potentially could be town and camp areas. Considering how relatively small these areas are compared to the rest of the overworld, we can infer that there will be a bunch of towns in this game. And if the hype train isn't enough for you, then I'm really excited for these games, and I'm probably going to make some Triforce waffles for the occasion. Majora's Mask 3D is dropping on February 13th, and Zelda Wii U is going to be released sometime in the later stages of 2015. I'm betting a November 2015 release though. In all actuality, we will probably get much more info about Zelda Wii U at E3 2015, which is a couple of months away. Well, at least we'll have this gem to keep us busy. On another note, I really love the new Majora's Mask 3DS XL design, but the pre-orders for this handheld is filled up to the brim everywhere, and I'm pretty sure when this bad boy comes out, then these things will sell out like the hottest of all hotcakes. But that's another thing. Special thanks goes to Lowe's Jam, Covert Commando, Chozo Dian Emissary, Mirko Zaja, Zelda Blade 7, Anthony Dranfield, Vince Loves Toast, I also love toast by the way, Kayla B, GU King of Hearts, and Henrique Novo for contributing to this week's episode. If you have any information dealing with anything Zelda related, then please comment below with the source and I'll feature your name in next episode. But what do you guys want to see in Majora's Mask 3D or Zelda Wii U? At Frosted Phillips said, in Zelda U, I want a combat system like Twilight Princess, but better. I'm tired of having to mash B and wait to press A every time I fight. Since it is implied that Zelda U won't have the same sword mechanics in Skyward Sword, and we really haven't seen Link go at it with enemies using a sword, perhaps sword gameplay will be different this time around. At O'Prize LP has said, I would like to see better cutscenes, like from Hyrule Warriors, and less hand-holding. Ocarina of Time 3D and Skyward Sword was too easy with a Sheikah Stone. IG Enuma has said that he wanted Zelda Wii U's cutscenes to be on par with the ones found in Hyrule Warriors, which I'm pretty interested to see. In terms of the difficulty department, hopefully this game won't be too easy. At Evil Madanachi wanted the boss Majora's Wrath to be extended with harder difficulty and Zelda U to mix combat detailed areas alongside the open world ones. I agree with making that boss fight harder, especially when you have the Fierce Deity mask, since having that mask pretty much makes Link a god, and I would love it if Zelda Wii U had the same compact detailed areas as in Majora's Mask and multiplied it. And at Real Zeshix stated that in Majora's Mask 3D to make the bottom of the well optional since it's too tedious, and in Zelda U just to make the world as filled as never before. You know, I don't know about that. I kinda like the well mini dungeon in Majora's Mask, but maybe that's just me liking dead things. But I will have to agree that this part does require some backtracking that I can certainly see why it would annoy people. Plus, I do agree with your stance on Zelda Wii U's world to make it filled as never before. Now that we have that out of the way, I want to give a shout out to Commonwealth Realm. He makes these really intricate Zelda videos and he places a ton of effort into making them. Check him out if you like Zelda theories or Zelda news videos like this one. The link is right here, no pun intended. Anyways, I just want to take some time here to thank you all. The channel has reached 15,000 subscribers and I honestly can't thank you guys enough for this. Seriously, my mind pretty much exploded when I figured that out. I hope everyone watching this is doing well and I hope you all the best. Till then, this is the video of the day. Lamp oil, rope, bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you click these videos. And wow, I can't believe I just made a Zelda CDI reference right there. Well, this is the video outro and I'm not entirely sure on what to say next. But enough of that. My ship sails in the morning. I wonder what's for dinner.